Okay, we'll go ahead.
It's
and
all
get
gonna be
started.
good in 2 days, right?
We'll go ahead and get started with Bernhard, the 2020 champion here at the Cologuard Classic. Can you just open with your thoughts being back here in Tucson?
Well, it's always great to be back in Tucson on this golf course. There's so much history, so many great champions to this place. I remember coming here on the regular tour and playing a couple of times. Usually we have awesome weather, but we don't want to talk about that right now. But you know, it's a great venue, and you can tell by the strength of the field. I think that players love coming here and competing here.
Last week you notched your 43rd win on the Champions Tour. What went well for you last week that you're looking to have carry over to this week?
Well, I think last week the course really suited me. It wasn't a bomber's golf course like some of the courses we played. They just suit the guys that can hit it 300 plus. I'm not in that category, so it was very tight and narrow, and I drove the ball extremely well. I think I hit 39 out of 42 fairways or something like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Whatever. And hit a lot of greens in regulation, and the three fairways I didn't hit, I was still in the fairway bunker. I wasn't in the penalty area, so that was probably the key, together with some, fairly good iron shots and the odd putt that went in.
You had your first win on this tour in 2007, which was the year that Hale Irwin won the last, which was 45. At that, when you were just first joining the tours, pursuing his record or getting to his record, anything that ever crossed your mind?
No, not with his record. No, I was just trying to establish myself and hopefully win a few tournaments. The goal was to be one of the leading players on the PGA Tour Champions. That was really my mindset coming out here, and having fun and enjoying the camaraderie with all the other guys. And it's been all of that and more.
Now that you're close to it, is it something that's on your mind, or do you just have to kind of set it aside?
Yeah, I really set it aside, but you guys won't let me. Every other week or so it's brought up, and I understand. So, but it's not on the forefront. On the forefront is every day, my game, how can I get better, or how can I improve a little bit here and there. And I know if I play the best of my ability, I have a good chance to win. And if I don't, I'll probably have very little chance to win.
Can you still improve?
I believe I can, yes. I've believed that all along. And you're going to say, he's crazy. But what's he taking? No, when you think about the game of golf, I know I'm not going to get longer, or I'm never going to hit it 300 plus. But I can still get straighter. I can still become a better short game player. If I make one more putt a week, I'm one shot better. That could be enormous over a period of 25 tournaments or something like that. If I could chip one ball closer or hit one more green with my irons, if I could get that one stroke better a week or half a stroke better, it would have tremendous outcome over the period of the whole season. And I think golf is very much a mental game as well as it is technical. So you can work on your technique, like I just mentioned, but you can also work on your mental side. If you're mentally stronger and believe that you can do it and don't get overwhelmed with the situation that we get ourselves in when you get in contention. Yes, so that's the long answer of yes, I believe that I can still get better.
How do you stay motivated year after year, week after week?
Yeah, it's never really been a problem getting motivated. That's just part of my DNA. Whenever I do something, I want to do it well. I want to do it great, to the best of my ability. And when the day comes and I'm out here just goofing off, it's time to go home. I think, and play with the grandkids and the kids, which is great too. So, but it's generally just my mindset. I want to give it 100%.
Go ahead.
What was your first ever win as a pro, even in the 70s?
Well, it depends, as a teaching pro or as a playing pro.
Getting money pro.
Well, you get money as a teaching pro. I turned pro when I was 15, teaching pro, and I will never forget the first tournament I ever won. I was 16, and I won 500 Deutschmarks, which is nothing, but at the time it was huge. And then I won the German National Close Championship when I was 17. I won 6,000 Deutschmarks, which bought me my first car, basically, and then it went on and on, to obviously bigger tournaments on the European tour and then on this tour and around the world. So there were many stepping stones.
One of the reasons that others haven't been able to do what you've been able to do is injuries sort of inevitably happen. Aside from luck, how do you think you've been able to avoid any major injuries along the way?
I haven't been avoiding injuries. I've had my share of injuries as well. I was drafted into the German Air Force. Everybody had to do it then, 18 months, and the first 3 months was boot camp, whatever you call it. And make a long story short, during that time I had a stress fracture in my lower back and 2 bulging discs. I was 6 weeks in the hospital, and I thought I was done. I'm 19 years old. I just joined the tour a year before, and I thought, well, this is it. You're probably never going to play professional golf again. But I recovered without surgery. My back looks a mess if you see the x-rays, but I haven't had surgery yet. And hopefully don't have to. And I've had a bunch of other injuries. I had surgery on my thumb, I have neck issues, I have foot issues, and now I have knee issues for about 5 years, and shoulders. And so there's, but I don't want to talk about it because it really doesn't do any good. Most people don't care what you're dealing with to start off with. Secondly, I'd rather be a positive person than talk about, oh dear me, what I had to go through. So, but I've had a few injuries, and I'm still hurting every day I get up.
I'm sure you've heard people say stuff like 40 is the new 30 or 50 is the new 40 or whatever. Do you feel like you can serve as an inspiration for others who want to play this game and play it well for a long time?
Yeah, I hope to be an inspiration, for the younger generation, but also for the older generation. When many people play our game between the age 40 and 80 or whatever, and many of them say, oh, I'm too old, or I started too late, or my back's bad, and I want to prove him wrong, or I want to show him, hey, this guy can do it. He's got a bad back. He's 64 years old. He still thinks he can get better. Maybe I can do the same thing. So yeah, I'd like to be that kind of role model.
Is it possible, if you break Hale's record, that you would view it as almost like winning a Masters?
I'm not sure you can compare the two. The Masters is winning a golf tournament over 4 days. Winning 45 tournaments is like half a lifetime, it seems like, even though it's not. It's whatever it may be, 15, 16 years out here, but you can't compare the two. They're separate achievements, but I think whenever you break a record that nobody has ever done before in the history of the game, it's something special, it's something unique. That's all. And Hale's record of 45 tournament is incredible, really is. I mean, it stood for so many years, and it may stand for a whole lot longer. Who knows? Time will tell. But takes whatever I do takes nothing away from him. He's been an amazing champion and a great player.
How do these weather conditions impact your preparation for the tournament, if at all?
Yeah, it's not ideal. We'd love to be out there. Brought some new irons that were made for me and a couple of other clubs, and you can't test in a 30-mile-an-hour wind or even 15-mile-an-hour wind, and you can't. My body doesn't function very well in 40 degrees weather or 50, so it's not ideal. So we'll have to wait. Have to be postponed. But it is the same for everybody. Good thing is we've all been here before. We know the golf course, so we don't feel like we have to be out on the golf course to figure out how to play each and every hole.
Do you and Hale ever needle one another about?
Oh yeah, we've become very good friends over the years, and we had the famous match at the Ryder Cup in '91. that was part of our history together, but we have a lot of respect for each other, and we both have a great sense of humor, so we do need each other, but I think at the same time, we both understand how blessed we have been to play this game at the very highest level for many, many years.
Anything else? All right.